People who have addictive personality types, they are not the weak people out there. You are given this gift. If you struggle with drinking, you are given a gift that for the time being has just been directed in the wrong place. Once I learned this, I realized, oh my God, I have an advantage over the rest of society. People who achieve millions of dollars or huge success also tend to have this trait. If we can just simply learn to actually harness it, it is a freaking superpower. If you're somebody who struggles to stop drinking, and that's a whole spectrum. That could be you've gone to rehab multiple times, you can't figure it out, all the way down to the weekend warrior person who just drinks on the weekend and you black out, or you drink a little bit too much, or whatever it is. There's a whole spectrum. You have a superpower. You have a superpower that so many people don't have, that can result in literally millions of dollars for you and an abundance of opportunities for you. In society, there is sort of this taboo around talking about, not drinking, or people who, if we talk to somebody who has a drinking problem, automatically there's shame around this subject, right? If you're the person who has a drinking problem, there's a lot of shame around it. You might feel like you're looked at as weak, or shameful, or you're embarrassed by yourself. And I get it, right? I used to think that way. I used to feel that way before I stopped drinking. So you have a type of personality trait or a characteristic about you that is extreme. There's something in you that does things to the extreme, okay? And really talented people out there, people who achieve millions of dollars or huge success, also tend to have this trait. If we can just simply learn to accept that we have that and then actually harness it, it is a freaking superpower, okay? So I'm gonna list off a couple names here of people who have this superpower, then I'm gonna go in a little bit more on these. So let's just talk about some athletes. Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the best soccer players in the entire world. He does not drink at all. Brett Favre, quarterback, he is probably one of the greatest athletes of all time as well in football. Does not drink, used to abuse drugs and alcohol and all that. Now he's completely sober. Another one is Charles Barkley. So here are three athletes. Charles Barkley is one of the best basketball players of all time as well. Highest in their level of competition. How do you think they got there? They got there because the way that their mind works is they go. They focus in on something and they continue to pull in on that thing, because the way that their brain works is that they want to keep going after the thing until it's just right. So similar to drinking alcohol, at least for me, when I would drink, I would just start with one drink and then I'd want to keep going and then want to keep going. Because there's a dopamine reaction there, you're signaling chemicals in your brain to keep going. So these athletes that I just mentioned, they have that hardwired in them. And we can see that because of how they performed in their sport. You don't get that good by sort of trying. You get that good by going and pushing and chasing a dopamine hit. Both those things, whether it's drinking or playing a sport, both of them require dopamine to get extremely good at doing them. Let's talk about some billionaires here, okay? The first one that comes to mind, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs did not drink. He actually attested his reason for not wanting to drink in that it actually made him feel terrible and he could not perform. Another one is Warren Buffett, literally made billions of dollars in stocks. He chose to not drink and not smoke because he said it's kind of like when you own a car. Let's say you get one car for the rest of your life. Basically, you want to take really good care of that car because that's all you got. And he also attests that his ability to take care of his body and his mind actually is why he was so successful, because he could beat out the competition easily. Billionaire did pretty well there. John Rockefeller did not drink. Howard Hughes did not drink. Donald Trump, say what you want to say about him, like him or dislike him. The man is extremely successful in everything he's done. He does not drink. A couple others here that I think are worth mentioning that are certainly not shameful people. Drew Barrymore, Oprah Winfrey, and Robert Downey Jr. So starting with Robert Downey Jr., the highest paid actor of all time. This man has chosen to stop drinking because he saw that it was ruining his potential. Oprah Winfrey was a surprising one. She doesn't drink either, but she also got addicted to crack cocaine when she was an anchor before she had the Oprah Winfrey show. Quit doing that, boom, she went into having the Oprah Winfrey show. So she stopped drinking. She stopped abusing substances at all before the Oprah Winfrey show. And then Drew Barrymore. So Drew Barrymore got addicted to substances when she was like 11 or something crazy like that. And she, I took notes here, but she basically got addicted to cocaine at 12. And then she was in rehab at 13. And from there, she's just catapulted into success. It's not to say that people who do drink can't be successful. By any means, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that there is a superpower in people who tend to have an issue with drinking. And the superpower is they have extreme personalities, or they have a really strong dopamine receptor that makes them do things really well and go really hard on things that others just don't or won't do. So let me just take myself as an example here, okay? I'm a sales director at a massive, massive company. I'm the director of sales at this company. Basically, my job requires me to be really, really on. I'm usually not selling, but I teach people how to sell. And the way I got to this position was doing a lot of sales and getting really good at it. And so it's kind of like a sport where what you're wired to do is win. And you get this huge dopamine rush when you win. Well, it's the same thing with drinking. At least for me, at least for people I know who have issues drinking, they get this massive endorphin rush or this dopamine kick when they drink alcohol. And so that's what makes you go forward and forward and forward. And you keep drinking to the point that you are drinking too frequently, or you're drinking too much when you drink because you're feeding that hunger. Well, when I cut out drinking, I didn't have that fill anymore from alcohol. So I had to find it, and this, this is all looking back on it. I didn't know it at the time, but I had to find it in another way. And the other way became my career, and I ended up absolutely crushing everyone else in my way and destroying them, to the point that I left that job after going from like $40,000 when I was, drinking, $40,000 income, to over $100,000 in that year after stopping drinking, to then getting hired by this huge company and making well into the six figures as a director of sales. From one job to the next. That is it went from one to the other. There was no in-between job. Massive, massive results for me because I was getting such a dopamine fill from winning in the sales. So how does that apply to anybody else? Or how does that apply to people like Oprah or Brett Favre or whoever it might be? We have a superpower that's a part of us. It's a trait, it's a characteristic to want more and to really hone in on things and focus in on things. So people who have addictive personality types, they are not the weak people out there. What actually happened was, because our culture is the way it is, because our society is the way it is, we grow up with alcohol, okay? We grow up with this substance given to us basically from the time we're like, a lot of us 12 or 13 years old, when we get to middle school or high school, this substance is introduced to us. So it's kind of this fill that's given to us that gives us a dopamine fill. But what happens is, when you take that thing away, that substance, alcohol away, the mind still wants that dopamine kick, that kick, right? And so whatever it is that we put ourselves into, it could be a hobby, or it could be a career, or it could be building a side hustle, or whatever it is, that energy that would have gone toward that substance that would then make you want more of it, and you go really hard on it. Instead, once that energy is then like harnessed and then it's put into a place, even let's say the gym, that's when you see somebody become an absolute freaking stud at what they do. It's not because they're weak. It's in fact because they're really strong. And they have a characteristic that a lot of people in society don't have. Not everybody has a problem with drinking, right? How many people do you know out there that are able to just have a glass of wine or whatever and then like be done with it? I'm not one of them. I am not one of them. Many people in my family isn't one of them. My sister is one of those people. Absolutely. Oh my God. My sister is one of those people who can just, drink and it's neither here or there. For me, when I start drinking, whenever I started drinking, I'd want another one and another one and another one. It was a struggle. I would try to stop drinking at a certain point and I couldn't. It wasn't that I drank Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. I never did. But Friday and Saturday, I would drink. I didn't always black out, but as I progressed in my life, getting into 23, 24 years old, absolutely, I would black out at least 1 in 4 times that I was drinking. That's the kind of person I was in terms of drinking. That might be how you are. It might not be this alcoholic thing where you're like in rehab, right? Or you might be in rehab. Point remains the same, that we have a superpower in us that tells us to go, to go, to go. And the people that have that superpower can build amazing things. Steve Jobs, I mean, holy crap, Warren Buffett. Like, what do you talk? Like, these are billionaire people that have these superpowers to build these things. And so what our job is to do is to harness that superpower and truly focus it in the right direction. You were given this like gift. If you struggle with drinking, you were given a gift that for the time being has just been directed in the wrong place. Right now, you're putting your focus, your superpower towards the right, or towards the wrong thing. Take your superpower and apply it to the gym. Take your superpower and apply it to your side hustle, to your career. Take it and apply it to your family and go hard on that, right? Once I learned this, I realized, oh my God, I have an advantage over the rest of society. I have a friend who is a music producer, okay? And this guy, he stopped drinking. And he stopped drinking around, I think, 29 or 30 years old. And when he stopped drinking, not only did his music just go boom, 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 like so much more he could produce and so much better, his career started to take off. And the reason for that, he found, was because most producers out there, music producers, still drink, and it slows them down and they can't focus. And so all of the energy and the focus, and we source things from the universe, all of that superpower that comes from us that makes you go, 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 go. They were putting that into drinking, and it was diluting everything. And he was doing that. And so now he can pull that and he can apply that focus and that power just to producing music. And his stuff is freaking insane. His career has taken off. He went from making $0 as a producer to now well into the 6 figures just because he stopped drinking and he was able to hear what kind of music he wanted to make. He was able to focus in on it, create more of it more quickly, and he beats out his competition without even doing anything extra, right? So once you take this superpower and you harness it, you go to the next level. So if we're talking about some of these athletes, right? Cristiano Ronaldo, Brett Favre, like these are people that have talents, they have skills, and they're extreme. You might be an extreme personality. I'm an extreme personality. And I find that people who are have addictive personality types are very similar to those types of athletes. They go hard. They chase the dopamine. They can focus in on something. It sounds insane, but try it. Take out drinking for just a few months and take all that energy that was going there and apply it to just one thing, and you'll start getting addicted to the results. And that's what happens. And when you do that, when I did that, my income, I keep going back to income because I think that's the thing that so many people want to talk about, and it applies to everybody, but dramatically increased. It in fact increased by 7. My income has increased in my first couple years of not drinking by 7 since I was drinking to stopping drinking, and then since then it's added more to that for my income, but also I now have a side hustle where I make additional revenue. I make up content here where I have you to talk to about really awesome things. Like I actually can expend energy that way and I go in that way. My whole reality has completely changed because I took this addictive personality and I applied it to things and areas where I could actually generate results, and my life has totally changed. So maybe for you, that's realizing that no, you do have a superpower. You're just putting it in the wrong spot. Put it towards the gym. Put it towards being an excellent cook. Put it towards building your freaking side hustle. Put it towards your job. If you're in sales, are you kidding me? You should go out there and be able to close $100,000 in the next month easy with this, because you can, because that's how your brain works. That's how mine works. You just haven't thought of it like that because everybody in society talks about it like it's this shameful thing. It's a superpower, dude. But culturally, we've just been given alcohol since the beginning. So we didn't even get a chance to see where that attention and that superpower mind that you have, where it could actually go. So give yourself a chance. Remove the thing that you've never lived life without anyways. You don't know what life is like without drinking. Remove it for the first time ever and apply it to any other thing, any hobby, any business idea, any venture, any relationship that you want to work on. Apply it there and see the results that come from that. You have a superpower. You are not weak. If you are considering life without drinking, do not let any of the noise out there confuse you. It is the greatest life hack of all time. Hopefully this gives a little bit of perspective. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this also. Let me know your thoughts and drop it in a comment below. If you think somebody should see this, please share it with them. Like and subscribe. I talk about all things human optimization, exploration, life hacks, and for sure not drinking is the greatest life hack of all time. We just don't talk about it because a lot of people make money from it. Break the matrix. You don't have to be a part of that. Your reality can be so much more than what you've been taught and told and sold. This is just the first layer of getting there. So you have a superpower. It's in you. Harness it. Focus it in the right direction, and you will be amazed at the things that you can achieve. All right, guys. Thanks. See you on the next one.